Well, I'm just starting up my alternative spiritual practice of protesting outside the Unitarian Church of Montreal. I'm a customer right now.
Est-ce que vous écrivez ça?
Pourquoi?
Oui, parce que je m'en viens là pour la première fois. Pourquoi vous écrivez ça?
Ouais, j'ai des problèmes avec les comportements de l'Église, des pasteurs de l'Église. Deux choses en particulier, mais il y a d'autres aussi, mais les choses primaires sont l'intolérance et la bigoterie.
L'intolérance, là?
Oui, oui.
Ben, ils annoncent sur leur site qu'ils sont très tolérants.
Je sais, je suis tout à fait au courant de qu'est-ce qu'ils annoncent, mais je suis aussi très au courant de qu'est-ce qu'ils font. Et effectivement, il y a des athées dans l'Église.
Oui,
c'est ça, même le pasteur est une église, est un athée.
Oui.
Mais dans les athées dans l'Église, c'est pas tout, mais il y a un certain pourcentage qui sont anti-religieuses. Ça veut dire que si vous êtes un croyant, vous êtes stupide.
Moi, je suis croyant, oui.
Bon, voilà, non, il y a des athées intolérants dans l'Église.
Petite question.
Oui, oui.
Est-ce que vous avez déjà participé?
Oui, oui, oui.
Vous avez déjà été membre de l'Église?
J'ai été membre, j'ai été expulsé pour avoir porté plainte contre le pasteur qui m'a traité comme psychotique parce que je réclame une expérience religieuse.
Oui.
Il a traité une fête interreligieuse que j'ai organisée comme un culte, comme une secte. Alors, et ça, c'était à l'époque du temple solaire et tout ça. Alors, ça, c'est extrêmement...
ça fait longtemps, là.
Oui, ça fait longtemps parce qu'ils ignorent on proteste longtemps. C'était intéressant parce que le sujet du sermon aujourd'hui, c'est la dialogue.
OK.
Reverend Roller va parler de la dialogue, OK?
Oui.
Puis elle-même refuse d'entrer en dialogue avec moi pour essayer de régler le problème. Alors, ça, c'est ça, c'est hypocritie.
Alors, vous, qu'est-ce que vous voulez? Qu'est-ce que vous voulez?
Moi, je voulais ce que presque tout le monde veut dans une situation comme ça. Je veux que l'Église reconnaisse ses erreurs, puis qu'il je sais pas le mot français.
Vous pouvez me le dire en anglais, je parle anglais. You can speak English.
I want them to acknowledge the wrongful and harmful things that they've done. All of them. They've done a lot, so they need to acknowledge in detail the wrongful things they've done. They need to apologize.
To you and other members?
To me and everyone who's been affected by this.
Okay.
I think, yes, they even have to apologize. The leadership has to apologize to the members because they've misled a lot of the members. You know, they've told lies to the members, so the members don't even understand why I'm protesting. So the leadership has to apologize for the lies they've told and so on. And some people have to face accountability. You know, not everyone, but the people who are most responsible need to have some kind of punishment as far as
Do you
I'm
want them to
concerned.
be more open to people too?
Of course, yeah. That's you know, when
Because I went to their site today,
wait,
and they said, you know, theist, athée.
I know what they say. Yeah.
Agnostic.
I know, but that's one thing you'll notice about that.
Okay, that's okay.
No, but the one thing that I remember that phrase because I see the website, and what they say is theists, atheists, agnostics, humanists.
Yeah.
But you see, atheists, agnostics, and humanists. Humanist is basically another word for atheist. Humanist is a term that atheists use to describe. The point I'm making here is that they say theist once and non-believers 3 times. You know, this church favors unbelief. This church favors atheism over theism. And if you're a theist and you join this church, you can expect to be insulted.
Yes.
And you can expect even more than insults. You can expect active intolerance. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It happened to me. As I said, you know, when the minister labels an interreligious event, which cannot possibly be a cult because it's bringing together different religious groups, when the minister calls that a cult, that's the worst thing you can say about someone's religious practices today. It's like calling someone a witch 200 or 300 years ago. And yet, when I complained about this, the church pretended he did nothing wrong. They said, oh, no, he's allowed to say that. And then they kicked me out for complaining about his behavior.
And how many years were you a member of that?
I joined in December of 1993. Yeah. I had been going, you know, for some months prior to that. the attack on me by the minister was in November of 1995. Okay. And then I complained. It took about 2 years of writing letters and so on to try to resolve the problem before I decided the only way to do something was to protest. So they kicked me out already for 6 months for just writing a letter. And then when that was over, I came back.
To whom did you write a letter? To them? To them?
Yes, to the leadership, yes.
Is the woman who is a pastor right now?
No, she wasn't the minister. She came later.
Okay, okay. So you wrote a letter, they expelled you for 6 months?
Yes.
Yeah.
So at the end of the 6 months, I came back and I said, well, we still have a problem to resolve. They refused to do anything. So I then decided to protest publicly. And part of the reason to do that was to have a meeting. Because the rules for kicking someone out, they said that they can kick someone out for 6 months, and then if they want to kick someone out permanently, they have to have a meeting of the whole congregation, and 2/3 of the congregation have to approve to kick the person out. Okay. Well, I wanted that meeting to happen because I was confident that I would not be kicked out. If it was possible to make everything open to the congregation, they would not vote to kick me out. But what they did, they ignored their own bylaw, and instead of having that meeting right away, as soon after I protest, they just kicked me out for another year, which was against their own bylaws, just to delay things. They kicked me out for another 6 months after that.
Wow, it's been 2 years.
Yeah. Then when they finally, after a year and a half to 2 years of lobbying everyone and lying to everyone, when they knew they had enough votes to kick me out, then they called the meeting to kick me out. It's like the separatists who want conditions favorables.
C'est ça. Yeah. I agree with you.
Mais ça, c'est la manipulation de la démocratie. Oui. Moi, comme j'ai dit, une des raisons pourquoi j'ai commencé à protester, c'était pour dire, OK, let's have the meeting. Puis ils ont pas fait. Ils ont
Donc, ça veut dire que nous sommes en 2013, depuis 1994, vous n'êtes plus membre de l'Église, right?
Non, depuis 1999.
Vous n'êtes plus membre de l'Église.
Ils m'ont expulsé en 99, oui.
I'll ask you a question.
Oui.
You're a Christian. Why don't
non,
you...
je ne suis pas un chrétien.
Okay, I thought you were a Christian.
Non,
okay.
non.
Because I was going to say, why don't you join
je suis un croyant, mais je ne suis pas chrétien. Ça, c'est pourquoi j'ai... Ça, c'est pourquoi j'ai... Je suis un unitarienne dans le sens classique du mot.
Je comprends. So you would like to join again if they would do what you asked
Ça dépend, parce que moi, je pense qu'ils sont tous des hypocrites. Alors, non, mais moi, ce que je veux, c'est la justice. Oui. Ils parlent de la justice, l'équité, blablabla. C'est ça que je veux. Je réclame la justice. Je réclame qu'eux pratiquent ce qu'ils prêchent. Je ne suis pas nécessairement intéressé de revenir membre de l'Église, sauf pour le principe. Ça veut dire que l'expulsion a été injuste, alors il doit admettre ça, puis il doit...
changer.
C'est ça. They have to... Yeah, mais what I'm saying is for the membership question... They have to acknowledge that meeting to kick me out was wrong and that it was also manipulated. Okay. And so they have to restore my membership because it was unjust to kick me out.
And then you would decide what you want to do.
Exactly. And I might just resign.
Okay.
But the point is, yes, as a matter of principle, yes, they have to.
Would you mind if I ask you your name?
Robin Edgar. Right. No, c'est pas grave. Robin Edgar.
Okay, right. Just because it's my first time.
No problem.
Okay.
Mais ça, c'est et ça, c'est pas toute l'histoire.
Est-ce qu'il y a des gens qui sont corrects là-dedans?
Il y a des gens qui sont corrects, mais de l'autre côté, ces gens qui sont corrects ont ignoré ça pendant des années et des années. Alors, dans un sens, ils sont très hypocrites dans un secteur de leur vie.
We do not.
Non, ça c'est incroyable ça.
Yeah, we
do not think alike. We do not need to think alike to love alike. Mais ils étaient tellement amoureuses de moi qu'ils ont ignoré ce proteste pendant des années. Non, c'est ça. Ça, c'est l'hypocrisie. Et c'est non seulement l'ironie, c'est l'hypocrisie. Et j'ai déjà parlé. L'autre côté, en français, c'est un peu différent. En français, nul besoin de penser comme l'autre pour s'aimer l'un l'autre. mais, comme j'ai
oui,
dit,
c'est vrai, c'est pas tout à fait
c'est
la
pas
même
exact.
chose. Le français et l'anglais, souvent, j'ai remarqué.
Ouais,
là.
bon, ça, c'est une traduction de
Ouais.
quelque chose qui a été dit originellement en Romanian
Oui.
ou peut-être latin. C'est une quotation de Ferenc David, François David. Ça date de 15,
1520,
voilà. Alors, il a dit ça soit en sa langue romanienne, il était de Roumanie,
Oui, oui.
ou peut-être en latin.
Ouais.
Alors, c'est ça. J'aimerais bien voir qu'est-ce qu'il a dit exactement. Mais de toute façon, il dit ça. Nul besoin de penser comme l'autre pour s'aimer l'un l'autre.
Oui.
Mais quand vous dites une minute, là, il y a un petit problème, t'aimes pas.
Ben, écoute, mon esprit va être ouvert à ça.
Oui, merci beaucoup.
OK.
OK. Et merci pour les Unitariennes. Excusez. Je pense que c'est le quatrième principe. Vous pouvez le lire.
Ouais.
C'est a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. Alors, vous avez fait ça ce matin. Alors, merci. Vous avez essayé de déterminer pourquoi je fais, qu'est-ce que je fais. Quelque chose que la plupart des membres n'ont jamais fait.
Are you there every Sunday?
Pas tous les dimanches, mais pas mal, pas mal. So, we got off to a pretty good start here with a long conversation with somebody coming to the church for the first time. Yeah, we're just under 12 minutes, 11 and a half minutes. So, and it was a bilingual conversation, switching between French and English, as is typical in Montreal, and happens, you know, when my French kind of breaks down, Francophones say, you know, they're ready to speak in English. And that's sort of what happened this time. But it's not uncommon to switch back and forth between French and English in any case, sometimes just as a matter of courtesy. English speakers may not understand everything that was said. Francophones will certainly understand the French, and most Montreal Francophones or Quebec Francophones, well, let's stick to Montreal Francophones. Most Montreal Francophones are quite bilingual, so the Montreal Francophones will have a pretty good idea of what's said. And we did a pretty good rundown of, you know, the reasons for the protest, the two main reasons. In fact, we didn't even get into the clergy misconduct aspects so much as just the intolerance and bigotry of the atheist members, and then the general hypocrisy and hubris of the Unitarians in Montreal and elsewhere. I mean, that's the sign that she actually pointed at and asked about specifically at the beginning was a sign saying Unitarian hypocrisy and hubris, suck you, asterisk you. So she asked, you know, why are you saying that? So as basically, you know, responding to that question, you know, why am I saying that Unitarians, not just Montreal Unitarians, who, well, actually, I'm not even saying that. The sign actually says that hypocrisy and hubris engaged in by Unitarians sucks. Good morning. So I'm not I'm not saying that Unitarian Universalists are hypocrites, although obviously many are in terms of some of the things they do, which do not align with the things they claim about themselves. But, you know, basically I'm talking about the actual behavior. You know, I'm condemning the behavior, as it were, which in this case, as I said, hypocrisy and hubris. And we didn't even get into the hubris, really. I mean, just incredible hubris on the part of some Unitarian Universalists, particularly UU clergy and UUA leaders. I didn't even mention the fact that Unitarian Universalist Association is currently accusing me of the crime of blasphemous libel for allegedly making unfounded and vicious allegations to the effect of ministers of the Unitarian Universalist Association. engage in such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape. I mean, that is hubris when the Unitarian Universalist Association leaders know perfectly well that the Unitarian Universalists who I blogged about are in fact guilty of engaging in such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape. How they can claim that I'm making unfounded and vicious allegations when people are actually convicted of such despicable crimes, and then go on to make the ludicrous claim that these allegations amount to the crime of blasphemous libel is truly hubris. It's hubris in no uncertain terms. And hubris that came back and bit them in the asterisk U. It's now actually been over 17 months since the Unitarian Universalist Association had me served with a legal letter accusing me of the crime of blasphemous libel on that basis, i.e. that I have made, and this is an exact quote from the letter, unfounded and vicious allegations to the effect that ministers of the association engage in such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape. I have responded to that letter by making it very clear to the Unitarian Universalist Association leaders and Stikeman Elliott barristers and solicitors, litigation lawyer, Maître Marc-André Coulombe, that the few allegations I actually did make about Unitarian Universalists engaging in such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape are by no means unfounded, nor are they particularly vicious. And yet, more than 17 months down the road from making that accusation, neither the Unitarian Universalist Association